Oh, I think we got it to work. I think we got it to work. Let me just double check real quick. Oh, there we go. All right. What is up, everybody? It's Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem but focus on the solution. Hey, you are first, Valentine. Thanks for joining. All right, so a few things to get this thing started for any of you watching the replay. So, some of you might notice this thing right here. All right, so yeah, let's talk about the state of the channel real quick. So, as most of you know, I make pretty much daily content. Like when I can, I am just cranking out the videos. But yeah, some of you ask, how can you support the channel? Some of you are interested or curious. So as most of you know, I work a full-time job. So like YouTube is definitely not like any type of primary source of income, but I got bills to pay and I like helping y'all out, providing with more content. So I do other work on the side to kind of fund myself and things like that. But if any of you would like to donate and help out the channel, that would be great because then I can quit working so much on that stuff, spend a little bit more time on the videos, and provide you all with amazing stuff. So Super Chat is a way that you can do that. Hi, Sherry. So Super Chat's a way that you can do that. It'll also prioritize, like if I get a bunch of mental health questions up in here, like it'll help me see them a little bit better. So if you want to, you could do that. But also, so check it out. For any of you who saw the mental health book review I just did on Dr. Faith Harper's book, I'm going to do a giveaway for that book. So like I think I'm going to get 3 copies of the book and 3 copies of the workbook, and I'm going to do a giveaway on the channel. So again, like stuff where you like do things to support the channel, and don't feel obligated to, by the way. You don't have to. You don't have to, but if you would like to. But then I could do more stuff like giveaways and things like that. But I'm also talking to a lot of different people and trying to get people to like donate like mental health stuff, like whether it's books or I've been talking to some meditation apps, and I'm hoping that they'll donate some like free codes or give people free trials of meditation apps. So like I'm trying to get stuff coming this way so I can push it out back that way towards all of you beautiful people. And let me I don't know if I like the angle of this camera. All right, cool. But anyways, hey everybody, how you doing? So yeah, but anyways, the bulk of this live stream, what's up? Oh no. Do I want to do that? Here, let's try this. My beautiful girlfriend's helping me out. Oh, that's nice. Look at that angle. Yeah. I like how you think. Anyways, the bulk of this video. So yeah, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know in the comments you guys ask me a lot of questions, or you have feedback, or you ask me to cover certain topics, and I can only crank out so many videos. So like, but yeah, if there's anything that you guys have, whether it's from depression or anxiety or addiction or just anger and stress and day-to-day stuff, anything that I've covered in videos, like if there's stuff that you want me to cover a little bit more in depth, like now's your time. It's just me and you. Just me and you as well as everybody else here. But anyways, now's your time. If you're struggling with anything specifically, like feel free to ask and leave it in here. But if not, I got plenty of topics to go over. Like, so here, let's talk about this real quick. So this new book that I'm reading, I just finished Dr. Faith Harper's book. The new book I'm reading is by, gosh, I forget her name. But anyways, she's like this Zen like teacher. She actually started getting into meditation and Buddhism like back like during the Vietnam War, like back when you know, like all the like hippies and stuff were doing their thing. But anyway, she got into it because she wanted to like help people and stuff. But this book is called, oh, her name's Joan Halifax, and she also goes by like Roshi Joan. But it's called Standing at the Edge, like finding freedom. Oh, hold on. Finding freedom where fear and courage meet. So like, I was like kind of confused about it at first because when you like listen or read like really super like in-depth like meditation or Buddhist stuff, sometimes it gets confusing. But when she's talking about edge states, she's basically talking about balance, and she has 5 different ones that she talks about. And I just finished like the part on like altruism. So altruism is something I need to make more videos on, just like giving without receiving, right? Or giving without the expectation of receiving. But she talks about, you know, being at the edge of this. So like the opposite side, like falling off the edge of the cliff would be like when altruism becomes like pathological. And one of the, clearest examples of that is codependency. So like codependence, they're trying to help, but they're trying to help too much. And that turns into enabling, right? So like when I like working at a drug and alcohol treatment center, it's, it's all about finding this balance, right? Oh, well, thank you, Sherry. You're amazing. I appreciate that. But like when it comes to like working with my clients at a treatment center, like I have to, obviously I'm there to help them and I give freely of myself, but some of them want me to do too much for them, like help me find a sponsor, help me do this, help me get a ride, help me, all these other things. And it goes back to that age-old saying that they talk about where it's like, you teach a man to fish and he'll be hungry in like an hour. Or no. I screwed that up. You catch a fish for a man who's hungry in like an hour, but you teach a person to fish and they never go hungry again. And that's like something that we have to look at when we're trying to be altruistic and trying to help people. Like, are we helping them too much so they're not really gaining their footing and able to like walk on their own? Like, imagine like my son, like when he was a baby. Like, what if I just stood there with his legs and just like walked for him? Like, the kid would never learn how to walk. Oh, and by the way, too, again, Sherry, thank you for the super chat. But like, yeah, if you guys have other like YouTube creators that you like, just so you know, like, it's always a great thing to just kind of like toss them a little tip or something like that. Like, I'm very fortunate that I have a full-time job that I love, but a lot of people are trying to make careers out of this, do this full time. Maybe someday that's in the cards for me, but I don't depend on it, obviously. But if you have other YouTube creators that do stuff and you can support them through Patreon, or you can support them, through Super Chat or their merch or whatever, all that stuff helps them so they can keep creating content. Let me see. Ooh, I got some questions coming in. Well, Sherry, you did it like a pro. And thank you, Linda. Let me see. So for home remedies, have you used turmeric or heard of anyone it truly helped? Okay, so Linda, I'm going to be honest with you. Nope. I know turmeric is like, I think like some recipes I've used have asked me to use turmeric. So Linda, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recommend, go watch my video I just did about the book review for F Your Brain. And I put Dr. Faith Harper's Instagram in there, or go to her website. It's like faithgharper.com, I think. Anyways, go check out her Instagram. She has a link to it. But she is like, I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. She's like certified or like has like a degree in like home remedies. So talk to her about it, and I guarantee she would have all the information that you would need on it. And like, that's something that I try to do too. Like, if I don't know the answer to something, I will try to guide you to someone who does. So I hope that helps, Linda. Like, go, her name's Dr. Faith G. Harper. And if you check my last video I did about her book review, it has her contact information on Instagram. I think I also put her website and her Twitter in there. But me and her, like we're not like besties or anything. I wish we were, though. She's really cool. But we talk regularly on Instagram, so she's very good at replying to people. So I really think that she might have some information. Oh, it's for inflammation? Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually talking to her too, because I was just telling her and I was telling my girlfriend about like my racing thoughts that I've had lately. Like my anxiety has kind of shifted in the way that it's like affecting my life. Some of you know I went off my medications and stuff. And so I was talking to her, and she was saying that there might be some like herbal remedies and things like that that might be able to help calm my anxiety. She also recommended that I check out like Wellbutrin too. So yeah, so go hit up Dr. Faith Harper. She's awesome. And hey, everybody who's just now joining, like if you have any mental health questions, now's your time to ask. So let me see. Oh, hi, Jamie. Check out Global Healing. I think Dr. Ed Group is the products I use. Global Healing, is that another YouTube channel? I should have like put the chat in here so people watching the replay could see. But I'm doing a great job reading them, so don't you worry, all you people watching the replay. Yeah, I love these. I'm ready to drop knowledge psychologically. What's up, Busy. Yeah, go check out Busy Vlogs. Let me see. Yep, yes. Do you know what peptides are? What? Oh, okay. All right. You do your thing in there. Uh, but yeah. But anyway, so yeah. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about anxiety taking different forms. So here's what's going on with me. So like, let me double back. I had somebody on my Boy in a Band video comment. I think they deleted it right after. They're like, why would you make a video about somebody else's depression? And like, I'm of the belief that no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, like there's a lesson to be learned in everything. Oh, thank you, Sherry. But I do think that we need to talk about, especially issues that are happening in pop culture. And by the way, that's kind of like a YouTube hack to get more viewers pulled in. But if you could talk about somebody else's experience and kind of analyze it, like I hope any of you watch the Boy in a Band video, you understand, like, I love that guy. He is a very nice guy, and I hope him the best. But I try to pull lessons that might be able to be learned from it. But yeah, I will catch you guys up on my anxiety issues lately. Sherry asks, what do you think about addicts in recovery who use alcohol and or marijuana, if that wasn't your drug of choice? So I have done some videos on marijuana. I'm very like I'm not against like, well, okay, I'm like against like heroin and meth and like cocaine. But like, for example, when I got sober, I never thought that everybody should get sober. I know, especially when it comes to marijuana and CBD oils and stuff, like if any of you have like noticed like how I run this channel, like I'm very into like scientific studies. So like, I don't disagree with those things. Now, the video I made talking about marijuana specifically and addicts in recovery. So Sherry, to answer your question, from my personal experience, anytime that I tried to go to marijuana, I always went right back to opiates. Not right back, maybe it took a few weeks, maybe it took a few months, but every time I experimented with that, it took me right back to what I really wanted. Alcohol, I think, is even worse, but I've been working at a treatment center for over 2.5 years, and something I'll say is, like, if I had $1 for every person who came in for like meth and came back for alcohol, or came in for alcohol and came back for pills, or came in for pills and came back for heroin, you know what I mean? Like, most of us addicts, we're addicts in every sense of the word. Like, if it's not drugs or alcohol, then we get addicted to like relationships or money or work or gambling or whatever it is. So like, it's a very risky situation. And like, the way I explain it to people, because I know, like, I'm not a fool. I know that most of my clients, not most of my clients, some of my clients aren't going to listen to a word we say, and they're like, well, I had a problem with meth. I can still drink, right? And like, I just try to share experience with them and hope that they learn from other people's lessons. But I explain it to them. It's like playing Russian roulette, but like, instead of like there being like, how many chambers does a gun have? 5, 6? Something like that. Like, instead of having like 5 or 6 chambers in the gun, it has like 2. Either you're going to become a full-blown addict again, or you're not. Like, those are like very risky odds. So I don't think anybody should risk experimenting with other substances. That's why if any of you notice, like, even though I'm an addict in recovery, most of my videos aren't about addiction, because I try to teach you guys how to deal with anxiety, depression, fear, anger, stress, all sorts of stuff, so you don't want it, like, you don't need to turn to another substance, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm shaking it. Good looking out. Good looking out. All right, hold on. Let me catch up on these questions. Yeah, CBD can cure cancer. Yeah, I actually, I have a friend whose son has autism, and I think they actually just started him on CBD oil. I have another friend whose son has like a rare genetic disorder, and they started him on CBD, and like, he's had massive improvements. But yeah, like, when I have people come to me and, you know, just talk to me like, oh, I needed to deal with stress, it's like, okay, meditate. If any of you watch my video I did about J. Cole, meditate, don't medicate. But yeah, it's not something I'm against. I actually voted for the legalization of it here in Nevada. Beautiful Nevada. Been on MMJ and MN. What's MMJ? Is that what that is? MMJ? What's the second M for? Sorry you are in pain. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, was there another one? At home? Am I missing something? Hold on. I'm still going here. I'm sorry to hear you're in pain. I saw your video on Adderall. What are your thoughts if they're really addictive thoughts? Linda, can you re-ask that question? I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. Let me read that again. What are your thoughts if they're really addictive thoughts? God? Ask me that question one more time. Who are you asking about? Chambers? Check out the skull cap. It really works. That all makes sense. Thank you for your opinion. Oh, okay. You're welcome, Sherry.
Little flowers.
Huh?
Little flowers.
Little flowers?
Mm-hmm.
Of marijuana?
Oh.
What?
Skull caps are different.
Skull caps are different. How am I the drug guy and I don't know about stuff that you could take?
They're not drugs.
Oh, they're not drugs? You could buy them in the store? Can I take them?
Yeah.
No. How do you feel about Suboxone? So I've been meaning to make a video about Suboxone and methadone and stuff. If any of you want, you could check out my video I did. It was titled to make people click on it. It's not clickbait, but it's meant to attract people to click on it. But I did one about why harm reduction is stupid. And I also did another video about how harm reduction saved my life, because there's a lot of different forms about harm reduction. Or a lot of different forms of harm reduction. So about Suboxone, absolutely 100%. Like, we live in this amazing time where it's a blessing for all of us to be able to take advantage of these medications that people didn't have even, 30, 40 years ago, Like, my video on opiate withdrawal, like my biggest video on this channel, use Suboxone. Like, I did cold turkey only because I lied to the doctor, so he didn't give me Suboxone. But everybody should go on Suboxone, but it should be tapered off. And Suboxone, even if it's methadone, as long as it's being tapered off in a reasonable time frame, that's cool. Even kratom. This is something I need to make a follow-up video on. I'm not even against kratom. I'm against kratom when it's being used as a replacement drug. And some people who have commented on that kratom video were like, yeah, I know people who are withdrawing from kratom and they went back to heroin because the kratom withdrawal was so brutal. So I think Suboxone is something that everybody should take advantage of. Or everybody should take advantage of Suboxone. If you have insurance or whatever it is, do it. Just make sure you taper it. One of my friends was just, she's getting clean, and the doctor was talking about keeping her on Suboxone for 2 years. I'm like, hell no. So she went down to I think a 8 or 6 week taper. At my rehab, I think we taper people typically, I think on average, I think most people get tapered off Suboxone within a week. Because the longer you stay on Suboxone, the more dependent you get. And even though I didn't get on it, other people I know who have been on Suboxone for an extended period of time, they say that some of the withdrawals are actually worse than actual opiates. Okay, hold on, let me go back down. Did I miss any questions? Yeah, if you're just now joining, I'm answering all your mental health and addiction questions. I'm answering some addiction stuff. Let me move this down. I need to redo this this thing. Yeah, so fun story, and it's interesting too because I couldn't find the video. Yeah, Vinny, he was asking me for it. The video of when they cut open my leg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the only time I've actually had Suboxone, so when I first got clean, my legs were swelling up, and I ended up getting, I think it's called cellulitis in my leg, and it turned into this infection on the back of my leg. So after the swelling went down, I had this wicked infection. So the doctor had to slice it open and drain it out. So, and I honestly think he did it on purpose. I think he could have numbed it. He said he couldn't numb it locally. So basically he gave me a few milligrams of Suboxone, and I bit down on a thing of gauze, and he sliced into my leg, and yeah, and it was all bad. That was the only time I was on Suboxone. But I don't know. That's another one of those things where I talk about getting clean. So much of that first month was just so awful. Whenever I'm it might be a good idea to get high, I'm oh no, not doing that again. Like I still have the scar on the back of my leg. Like he cut like it was like this, and then he scooped out.
I don't want to.
Scooped out with his finger. He dug
I don't.
his.
I can't. I don't even want. I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have a video of it on my phone, or no, it was on Facebook, and I don't know if like Facebook took it down or if like Mark Zuckerberg sold it to somebody. Oh boy. Here, let me see. So let's see. LGD Mackie. I missed the series on Adderall that you were speaking of, and I wanted to know what the outcome was and what your thoughts on the show was when it was on, because I missed it. No, that wasn't a show. That was a documentary. It's still up on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, go check it out. It's called Take Your Pills. So yeah, like that. Yeah, it wasn't a show. So you can go check it on demand, yo. So yeah, go check it out. See what your thoughts are. Some of the hype around it's died down, but I still get some hate comments every now and then. Yeah, somebody else was asking about Adderall. Like, that's another thing. I don't think Adderall's bad either. Like, a lot of people, like, see my videos where I'm, like voicing actual real concerns, and it makes them think that I'm, like, against things. Like, Adderall's great as long as you don't become addicted to it. Adderall's great as long as it doesn't get prescribed to you when you haven't been properly diagnosed. Like, these are the things that I try to talk about, but, like, sometimes, like, people see it as like, oh, he's just against Adderall, and I'm like, no. Like, I'm all about medications. I'm all about them. Like, opiates are great as long as you don't get hooked on them, you know? So, I got kicked off. What did I miss? You didn't miss much. I was talking about a gross infection I had that got cut out of my leg. Talked about Adderall for a second. You didn't miss much, Sherry. You're good. But yeah, if you guys still got questions, make sure you leave them in there. Oh, getting back to my anxiety experience. So, like, yeah, I mentioned I was talking to Dr. Faith Harper about it. I was telling my girlfriend about it too. Like, my anxiety used to be very fear-based and very worry-based. Like, my brain would latch on to just worries and fears that were non-existent, that just weren't happening. Like, there was a time when I quit taking my medication, just like without a doctor or anything, and I had to leave work one day because my brain would not stop worrying about things that were totally fine. It was worrying about my son, it was worrying about money, it was worrying about work, and all these things were great. But now, like, the anxiety I've had lately is, it's just like racing thoughts. It's like where my brain is just going like a million miles a minute. So, like, that's one of the reasons I meditate. But, like, this morning I meditated and it was fine. Like, my brain was fine for most of the day until towards the end of the day. Then it started racing again. And I don't know what it was, but, like, when I got into my car and started listening to my book again, and then I went to the gym and worked out, and then afterwards I was like, oh, I'm fine again. So, yeah, I'm, like, debating on whether or not to go back on my medication because I don't like the side effects. But, yeah, Wellbutrin's also an option. I'm actually seeing, I wonder if I could talk to my doctor tomorrow. Because I got to go get some blood work done tomorrow. So I might see if my doctor's there and maybe she could hook it up. But we'll see. The other thing that I wonder about, too, is, like, even with the way my brain, like, goes nuts sometimes, like, it doesn't negatively affect my life that much. Like, I'm not freaking out. I don't have to, like, leave work. When my brain does that, though, I get kind of irritable, but I'm very mindful of it. So I try not to snap and be a jerk. I don't know. It's interesting. Do you use anything outside of meditation for anxiety? So yeah, aside from meditation and then non-narcotic medications, Xanax is one medication where, I don't agree with that one that much. But anyways, aside from medication, aside from meditation, it's interesting too. Like, mindfulness is pretty much anything. So, like, keeping busy and, like, getting into a zone, like getting into work, that, like they call it, like, getting in the zone, or they talk about it being a flow state. So sometimes it's like busy work. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm working on stuff, and I work on a lot of stuff, it's hard for it's hard for my brain to like spiral out of control. Like once I get on a task, I'm very focused on it. So I guess that would be one of them. I've been going to the gym again. Like this is my second or no. This is my third or fourth week back at the gym. That definitely helps too. Like I'm still trying to learn all the ins and outs of like exercise for mental health because obviously it releases endorphins and things like that. But yeah, when I go to the gym and I've been just doing straight cardio, and it's a combination of like doing cardio and like watching stuff on my phone, but it gets me out of here, you know? But anyways, like something I don't know if I've touched on this in a video yet. It's just, I try not to encourage people to use distraction techniques because it's really just a Band-Aid for the problem and it's gonna keep coming back. So that's why it's important to find ways to kind of dig down and see what's triggering it or what it's doing or doing something that's healthy. And by the way, Sherry, it is probably my internet. I'm over at my girlfriend's house because they're fumigating my house. It's probably my internet that's lagging. So I apologize for this. I'm getting ready to start Cymbalta. What do you know about Cymbalta? I don't know much about Cymbalta, to be honest with you. I'm in a few mental health groups on Facebook, and I've seen people talk about Cymbalta. I don't think we prescribe Cymbalta, so I don't know. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to BS you. Like, I don't know about the side effects. But one of the things about medications, too, is that a lot of people have different reactions to them. What's this? Is this Cymbalta? Mm-hmm. Warning, serious... So, my girlfriend just pulled it up. Warning, serious liver problems. Well, that's not good.
Like, look at the first part where it says, like, what to tell.
Oh, tell your doctor if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, right? If you have kidney disease, liver disease, diabetes, digestion problems, glaucoma, heart disease, high or low blood pressure, or problems with urination, or a history of seizures, and if you smoke or drink or use alcohol. So that's pretty much like the normal stuff they say to like tell your doctor if you're going to get on it. Does it show like other side effects? Yeah, it seems like severe. Serotonin syndrome? Oh, wow. Oh, nope, I'm back. It disconnected for a second, but I'm back. Serotonin syndrome? I've literally never heard of that in my life. More likely when used with certain other medications. Increased risk of bleeding problems, serious skin reactions, low sodium levels in blood. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what I hate about like reading it, because it's like this is an antidepressant, right? And it's like this medicine
for nerve pain and antidepressant.
It says this medicine can increase thoughts of suicide. Tell your doctor right away if you start feeling depressed. But like,
that was it. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like typically, like when I see people complaining about medications, like usually it's like lethargic. Like that's usually what it is. It's like being very tired. It's usually being very tired. These are the most common symptoms with like any medication. Super tired, or just kind of like groggy. Nausea is another one. But something I always say too is like just try different medications. Like get on it. Usually it takes like at least a couple weeks. There's some studies that say like, especially with antidepressants, they can take like up like a month to like 6 weeks to really start showing you the effect. And like, it's crazy because I wish they could just tell you which medications will work for you. But my company, last time I was out at our corporate office, we actually have a genetics lab where we like did a swab, and it can tell you which medications like won't work for you and which medications will like you'll have a bad reaction to, like based on your genetics. It's crazy what technology is doing. So Sherry, what I would recommend, like look up some stuff on Google. See if you can find any reviews of it. See if there's any common symptoms. But I wouldn't worry too much. It's just, especially with medications, like when I talked about in my other video about me getting off my meds, just be very mindful. Be very mindful of your mental state, your mental and physical state. And if something is wrong, like go tell your doctor, like set up a follow-up like really, really quick. Something I mentioned in my video is like I tell my girlfriend and my best friend whenever I'm going on a new medication or coming off a medication, I tell them, you got to let me know if I start acting crazy because I won't know if I'm acting crazy. So those are my suggestions for getting on it. Hey, Bootman. So those of you who don't know, my gaming name is Bootman. Have you ever thought of doing Dota 2 casting? Dude, I used to do casting for like Counter-Strike 1.6 back in the day. It was really fun. Like Dota, I don't think I could do it justice. Like I went 2 years ago? I went to Seattle for the International. And like, man, like those guys are good. Like I was lucky to do some casting and stuff when like people weren't as knowledgeable about the games. And I can kind of like, yeah. Oh, hey, but how do you pronounce your name? Corinna, I'm guessing. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, if there's any topics or questions, like I always tell you guys, like in the comments, like let me know if there's any topics you want me to cover. But right now, all of you in the live stream, you have the chance to ask me about topics that I haven't covered yet. And Sherry says that's what they say about Prozac. For years I was on it, but it's not helping anymore. Yeah, Sherry, like, I don't know if you saw my video about that book, Lost Connections. It's like a 30-minute long video, but it's very in-depth. Something that they found with medications, like medications definitely help people. Like, there's no denying that. But to the degree in which they help people, that's something that's up for debate in certain, like, scientific communities. Like, a lot of them see that, you know, the medications aren't helping as much as people think they are. So, like, I would just say, like, try to manage your expectations with the medications. What I try to teach my clients, especially with antidepressants or even anti-anxiety medications, they're just meant to get you to like a baseline, and then you got to start doing some additional work, whether it's like, you know, therapy or journaling or meditation, exercise, getting involved in support groups or just other activities with other people. Like, these medications are basically what I tell people, like, they're basically to help you get out of bed in the morning. Then from there, you got to start putting in some additional work. So yeah, like, hopefully it can jumpstart like serotonin and stuff to give you like motivation to go do stuff. Corinna, hey everybody, I'm new here and have, oh no, it's liver cirrhosis along with depression. I just started Zoloft. Cymbalta didn't work. Hey Corinna, I'm sorry to hear about your condition. Oh, I'm glad I said your name correctly. That's a plus. So yeah, did you say you just started? Oh, Cymbalta didn't work. That's the other interesting thing about medications too, everybody. Like, Lexapro worked wonders for me. Aside from some of the side effects, like the way it managed my depression and anxiety, phenomenal. But I've met I'd say 50% of the people I've met who have been on Lexapro, it didn't work for them. It didn't work for them, or it gave them some weird side effects. Like the worst like physical side effect I had was nausea, but it was after I was off of it for like 6 months. So like I took like the full dosage like after, instead of like easing my way back, but it's what was prescribed to me, and I was nauseous for like a day. But yeah, and that's why like I love when people share experiences about them too. But like I would say like just try them. Like as long as they're not a narcotic, like where you're like just experimenting with things that you can get hooked on, like try different ones and just be honest with your doctor about how they're making you feel and stuff. But different people, like we all have different biology and genes and stuff like that. Anyone have neuropathy? I'm in so much nerve pain. Hey, Corinna, I don't, but I've had clients in my treatment center who have neuropathy. And like, first, like I would highly recommend like a physical therapist, somebody who specializes in this stuff. But what we typically do to get people to begin healing from neuropathy and stuff is like very light yoga, some walking, like not sprinting or running or jogging. Like part of neuropathy is from like your nerves, like your nerves like deteriorating and things like that. Nutrition is also a huge one for neuropathy as well. So I'm sure, or Corinne, if you're just now joining too, check out my video. I'm sending a lot of people to Faith. All right, so Dr. Faith Harper, she knows a lot about like natural remedies and stuff like that, or nutritionist stuff that might help with neuropathy and nerve pain. So Linda asks, how did you two mend your relationship during rehab? Wait, is that for me, Linda? And if that is for me, do you mean myself and my son's mom? So do me a favor. I'll come back to you, Linda. Re-ask me that question. How did you two mend your relationship during your rehab? You mean me and my ex, me and my current girlfriend, she met me after I got sober, or me and my son? Yes and yes. Okay, let's talk about baby mama. That's what I'm thinking. So, Linda, what I will say, I'll keep it short and sweet because she's never going to see this. I'm actually making a video for my Mother's Day present to my kid's mom. I'm going to make a video about how we've kind of repaired our relationship, and I'm going to make it short because I can write an entire book on it. But anyways, with my son's mom, I think I was, oh, no, my girlfriend, different girlfriend. But my son's mom and I was very fortunate because we were always able to put my son's well-being ahead of any of the BS that we had with each other, any of that fighting or bickering. So, like, if any of us were, like, getting, like, really upset, because that's something that, we had to be very mindful of. Both of us, myself as well as my son's mom, were both the children of divorced parents. And, like, I know, like, for me personally, my parents arguing and fighting, it screwed me up so much as a kid. So I think that's one of the ways that we were able to heal. Like, we kept our arguments, like, away from my son and things like that. But it was a very long process. It took, I'd say it was at least 2 years before me and her got on, like, got into, like, just not fighting all the time. You know, a lot of it came from me not engaging in arguing. Like, I had a sponsor who always reminded me every time she would argue with me or start something with me or say something to me that, like, hurt my feelings. I would talk to my sponsor, and he would always remind me. He'd be like, have you done anything in the past that has given her a reason to be upset with you? And it, like, reminded me. I'm like, yeah, you know, I have. So, like, for a while, I had to just let her kind of get it all out. And then after a while, like, she saw all the work I was putting into my recovery. But yeah, now we have a really, really good relationship. My son's great and stuff like that. No, but my current beautiful girlfriend, we've been together over a year now. So she has fortunately never met drunk or high Chris. You're welcome. Sherry, what is it? Oh yeah, gabapentin is good. Thanks, I'll look into your suggestions. Good, Corinne. Corinne, that is what I'm talking about. I like when people are like, hey, suggestions, I'll look into them. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Just look into it. Try it. See what happens. Like, what's the worst that can happen if you try some nutrition or some yoga? You know, like, that's what I don't get. Like, hey, try some yoga. Like, now. Like, just do it. I tried yoga for a while. I need a new mat. I might get back into it. Sherry says he tried that but had a bad reaction to it. So he basically lost both legs. Oh, no. So now he has more phantom pain. He uses methadone for pain. My fiance left me after rehab. I just didn't know if you had advice. Yeah, Linda, like, I don't know. It's interesting. If you watch my video I did, it was titled, like, Should I Stay Friends with My Ex? But it's, you know, it was a question about people getting sober and stuff. And, like, first off, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's really interesting, and it's really tricky, Linda. Obviously I don't know your specific situation, but something, for example, I'll use my son's mom again. Me and her, like, I realized with her, like, we're way better at being friends than we ever were in a relationship. Like, she has her new husband, they have a kid together and stuff like that, and they're great for each other. Like, I see how he deals with her. I'm like, dang, dude, like, good for you. You know, because I couldn't. Like, that's just how they were meant to be. And, like, in our addiction, especially, Linda, like, a lot of times we don't know who we are, or we lose ourselves to our addiction. Sometimes, you know, the other person just gets fed up, and, you know, rightfully so sometimes. And in recovery, they talk about the wreckage of our past, and sometimes these things happen. But what I will say is, like, you know, things get better. Like, something that I try to get people to really think about, and this comes a lot with like meditation and clearing your mind up, is that our wants and needs get confused all the time. Like, I understand like the hurt and the pain and stuff like that, but like, although jobs are different than relationships, there were jobs that I lost that depressed me to no end, that, you know, I made good money, I thought I loved being there, and da-da-da-da-da. But had I not lost that job, I would have never found this other better job. Like, I work at a rehab doing what I love and have enough, you know, a flexible schedule where I could do this YouTube thing and help more people. So, Linda, what I would say is, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry that it hurts, and I'm sorry that you're going through this. But now that you're getting clean, or, you know, hopefully staying clean, the whole world of options opens up to you. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't know how the future's going to play out. I never try to tell people, like, oh, maybe you'll get back with your ex. I did make a video called the spoiled milk thing. But, like, just remember that, you know, this might be opening you up for something better in the future. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that helps just a little bit. I'm glad I found your channel. I'll stay in touch. Oh, look at that. Subscriber friendships. I love it. I love building like a community atmosphere here. I love that so much, let me tell you. I never drank before, but when we got engaged after 5 years, when he passed, just had enough. Oh, wow. Oh, I've been clean for a year. Well, congratulations on a year, Linda. Like, that's huge. Like, Linda, let me tell you something real quick. Like, real talk. Like, I don't think enough people realize how many people can't make it to a year. You know? Like, it is crazy. So, like, a year is such a huge accomplishment. And I need to do a video sometime about the statistics behind it. Like, people who stay sober for, like, I don't know what it is. It's like, people who stay sober for, like, 60 days, like, their chances of staying sober for, like, 6 months, like, goes up, like, 25% or something like that. And then once you stay clean for 6 months, then your chances of staying clean for a year goes up, like, another, like, 40%. And then something along the lines of, like, after you stay sober for, like, 5 years, like, your chances of never relapsing again are, like, at, like, 85 or 90%. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, if people can just make it through their first year, their chances of just staying clean are just phenomenal. Phenomenal. So you go, girl. You go, girl. We all have help and support one another. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sherry. You guys, I have probably about, what time is it? I'm probably going to stay on for about like 5 more minutes or so. So rapid fire, if you guys have any final questions, leave them down in there. I see that we got some other viewers in there, so don't be shy. Don't be shy. You have any questions about anxiety, addiction, depression, BPD? That's been something I've been into. If you have questions about meditation, or if you would like to just support the channel, do a little super chat, I wouldn't mind. For those of you who are joining and you weren't here during my beginning spiel, Super Chat helps give me more time to focus time and effort onto the YouTube videos, make more in-depth videos, spend more time editing and stuff like that. Like with the book review I did this weekend, I had so much fun editing that video. And it's because I had time to do so. But when I don't have time, I still make videos. I'm not saying you have to donate or I'm not going to make videos. That'd be crazy. I love doing this. But supporting the channel anyway greatly helps, so if you guys want to. But also, too, like, any of you watching the replay, like, anything helps. Like, I have books, or, like, whenever I recommend a book, if you just use that affiliate link, that's amazing. Because, like, it doesn't cost you any money, and it gives me, like, 25 cents. Pretty sweet. But, yeah. Anyways, you guys, you're all beautiful. This was a great live stream. I'm going to get to going. But, yeah, if any of you need to reach me, like, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Rewired Soul. You guys can email me. Like, I'm always around. If you have questions, I'm not always around. Let me rephrase that. But I reply as often as possible. But if there are any topics that you want me to cover or anything that you want to ask me about sometime, like, just reach out, shoot me a direct message or tweet at me or email me. I've had like 5 or 6 people email me lately. It's really cool. Hi, Tara. I am so sorry, but I am ending the live stream. But anyways, come back, watch the replay, Tara. I got you. All right, everybody, but I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I think you were going to recommend a meditation app. I'm working on getting some free codes for some meditation apps. I have a video on my 3 favorite free ones. One that I used today was called the Buddhify app. I'm trying to see if they'll donate some, but that one's only $5. I think it's available on Android and iPhone, but it's a really, really good meditation app. I like how it's a flat fee of $5 and not like a subscription. So if you're down to spend $5, or if you wait, like maybe they'll get back to me and donate some. But the Buddhify app's great. I use the Calm app a lot. They gifted me a 1-year subscription, so I have full access. But even the free stuff on the Calm app is really, really, really good. Headspace also has a lot of free stuff. So I would recommend checking into those. All right. Anyways, mwah, mwah, mwah. You're all beautiful. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you later.